Dr. Larson and I have been working together trying to determine how we can manage the separation between Pierpont and Fairmont State University, because we really don't want to happen at these two institutions what we've seen happen statewide. So we know change is inevitable. We know it's going to be best for both Pierpont Community and Technical College and for the university. So we know this is something that we have to work toward, but we want to determine the best way of doing that. And so we have come to the conclusion that we really need to have a strategic plan in place so that we can manage this change. We started it already a little bit over the Christmas break and into the beginning of the year when we separated our websites. And it's worked out better for both institutions. We've done it with a minimal amount of effort, and it's just better for the staff in both areas. We've consulted with staff across the institution, with the deans, with faculty, with senior administration, as well as with our IT staff, with the registrar and other areas of the campus. And this seems to be the conclusion that everyone has arrived at, that we need to work towards separation in some key areas. We've been managing both institutions with one database. It's become very evident that it's difficult to do that. It's causing more work for us in the long run.
Now, when you say database, what do you mean specifically?
It's all of our student information, all of our employee information, it's all of our class information, it's our class scheduling, just everything really about the institution. But we know the separation of the databases, the memo points out, is not going to be an easy task. So we know that it's going to take us, we aren't sure exactly how long, because we yet have to determine that yet. And it's going to be at least a year, year and a half, maybe 2 years before we get it fully accomplished. But just knowing that this is the goal that both institutions are working toward, we feel like is something that had to be stated and to put people's minds at ease. Right now, a lot of different realities have been created, and you hear rumors here and there about what's going on. So we decided it was prudent to put this information into a memo and put it out to the campus community.
Well, one of the most apparent, and we even reference it in the memo, is that a lot of our programs, especially our new programs, we want rolling registration, so a class that would start like every 5 weeks and students would complete in an accelerated amount of time. We actually have this with our power plant program right now. But because the database is shared, the university schedule is a traditional semester schedule and will probably remain so. That's part of, again, what their programs are like. So we can't, with the combined database, we can't do both. So right now, students that are in some of these rolling registrations, our registrar has to handle them in a manual system. Just pull them out, handle them case by case, call the students to, and so part of where this, again, I think impetus for especially the database separation came from the registrar's office and enrollment services saying we're not doing very good service to either students right now of either institution because so many things have to be done manually, where the system was really intended to automate that but can't quite do it, and then trying to make some changes that would affect one institution and not another. It's just not viable in just so many ways. So this will really allow us to each institution to kind of have its hallmark systems, and but we didn't want to do it like what happens is Pierpont maybe requests a change, and it's a very difficult change because of the combined system. But it's really important to us, and then people feel like, they're turning down a Pierpont request, and they just can't accommodate it. And so again, there rises some tension, between folks. And so we really want to, know that this is a cooperative, planful strategy that both institutions will benefit by. We will get there in a very planful way. Staff will, we'll get there with input from staff. We don't anticipate, massive amounts of job layoffs or anything like that. But job shifting, we will. We'd like to have dedicated employees. And then what we also wanted to emphasize, well, two things. One was that we will always share the campus as long as, again, it's always Pierpont's intention. Our shared campus is immensely valuable to our students and to the viability of both institutions. And there will be some staff that will continue to share. We don't know exactly what that will be, but we still know that there's some efficiencies by, especially like back office staff, that we could maintain. But as far as the student experience, we know we really have to, both of us have to really be able to fulfill our mission. And right now we're interfering with each other's mission.
So does someone get a new database, and someone keeps the old one, is that a complicated question?
IT's going to work through that. There's a lot of options. There's, you can clone, like we did with the website, we just cloned it over and then, kind of went our separate ways. Now IT really will take the lead and give us the options and the cost for those options and the staffing and those types of things to go into the future. But there's a lot of different ways that we can go with that.
So right now it's conceptual. We've kind of made the decision that we're going to go through this.
Yes.
And then the groundwork really has to be done by IT.
To start with, yeah. And then we plan to work kind of backwards from their timeline in terms of what staff would look like, space, those types of things. But we see this as a huge step forward in that both our chairs have been meeting of the board governors, Chairman Tucker, Chairman Griffin, and working on other issues too, but on this issue as a collaborative issue. So it isn't going to be like most of the other separations where the community college, it was just animosity between the two institutions, and sometimes a lot of duplication of cost because either the community college just had to pull out and restart from zero, or that doesn't do anybody any good. And Dr. Rose and I are convinced that we can do it in a cooperative way and not follow the pathway of the other institutions.
So it's less categorized like a divorce and more as a new relationship, right? I mean, it's a new and different relationship
I would
as
agree.
opposed.
Yes, a new partnership.
Yeah.
And, yes, and the partnership will exactly not a divorce, but a new partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And the partnership is the key. We valued our partnership.